In this video, we are going to be taking a look at something, a little simple little project. Now, this project was requested by Forrest Gump's wife, Jenny, and Jenny wants to get rid of the Sprizzle logo here and possibly even put something else there. So I will show you how to do this. Now, I don't know exactly what this is. But we only have to modify one because the other ones are literally the same thing. So the first thing, you see it says tray stackers. They're not connected in any way. So I'm not sure. Um, yeah, I don't know. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to right click and we're going to split to objects so that we can have individual objects. So I would just get rid of these and deal with this one. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to create a primitive. So I'm going to right click here on my build plate and we're going to add a primitive, in this case, a primitive cube. And I think what we'll do is let's rotate this 45. So we click here on the blue, and if we come inside, then it'll just rotate and snap right to those. So just snap it 45 degrees. So you can see now it's horizontal like we want it. So our next thing is let's change the height of our cube. So we're going to go to our scale tool here and we'll turn off uniform scale and let's just make it 2 millimeters, something like that. So now what we want to do is we want to take this cube and I want to set it on that face. So the way we do this, in order to do that, the cube has to come off the build plate. And we cannot move the cube off the build plate unless it is connected to this other part. And so we're going to go ahead and control click on the other part. Now you can see they're both selected, and then we can right click and merge. And now we've created an assembly. So we don't know where this surface is in relationship to our build plate. So there's a tool that is called our assembly tool. So we select our assembly and then we click on the assembly tool, and you see in the assembly tool has two options: mode to mode, the mode here, face to face or point to point. Both are quite useful in various scenarios, but in this case we're going to do face to face. And so what we're doing is we're clicking on the face right here. You can see it here. It's highlighted in blue. The first face we define is the fixed face. You see it right here. And then the second face that we click on is the one that's going to move. So this is going to be the top of our little cube that we just created. And then it tells us how much we have to move it in order for this to be with that. Okay. And so if we just click on 0 here, just change that to 0, then you could see that this face is now at that same level as that one. Okay. So now that we have that in place, now what we can do is we can move this face. So we have to alt click on the cube, because if we don't alt click, then it's going to select the entire assembly. So we just want one piece of the assembly, which is our little cube, and then we can go to the move tool and then we can move it into position. So we would just move it, and now once we have it in position, we could scale it. So we could scale this in a little bit, and we could scale this out a little bit until we have that. I will tell you this. Also, it's easier to see if it's not black. See, much easier to see. So you could just barely make out Sprizzle here, but if I alt click here, we can make out our cube, and basically we want to just see that that is covered up. So now what we could do is we can go ahead and select our part, and we could do, now we wouldn't necessarily have to do anything more than what we just did. So we could go ahead and slice the plate, and you will see the finished result. We have no Sprizzle Sprazzle. So we don't have we don't have to merge them together. So, but we're going to for our next. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll do a mesh boolean. We're going to go to union, and we're just going to select those two and execute. And now those two, that part is now gone. And of course, if we slice the plate, there she goes, right? It's going to be just fine. So that is how to get rid of a logo on an existing part. Now from there, what we want to do is maybe we want to put our own logo there. So I'll show you how to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit Control I, and I have my logo probably somewhere. Yes, I do. Let's see what this is. Yeah, there we go. So it's just a little logo for me. Okay. So it's going to be a somewhat similar process. Now, one thing I could have done, and let's do that just so you could see. What we're going to do is we're going to select our part, and then I'm going to import my logo. Control I. So we'll do the same thing. STL logo. There it is. And then what we're going to do here is, now that's strange. It's not what I expected to have happen. Let's do that again. Let's choose add part this time. And we're going to add an SVG. And then we'll add our logo. Yes, that's what I expected to happen the other way. But essentially what's happening here is now my logo is automatically attached to the face of my part. So before, where we had to, do a couple extra steps to get it there, it's already there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to choose the cut operation, and notice what happened there. Now the face, the top side of my logo is now right there at the face of my part. And so for the depth here, I usually use either like 1.5 millimeters or 2, something like that. And then we can look at it from the top side there. I think that's almost pretty good. But we will go ahead and scale it down a little bit, like so, just a little bit. All right. So now if we slice the plate, you'll see that we get a nice little indentation there. Now, if you don't want your logo to be that much indented, then you can back it off. So sometimes it's a little bit deceiving. Now, if we want to modify that, we do have to alt-click on it, okay, and then we can right-click here and choose Edit SVG, and then we can make it maybe not quite as deep. So maybe 1 or even 0.75, something like that, okay? And then if we want to, there are some other options here. So if we wanted to go back to Edit SVG, if we want to use the modifier, then we could still use the modifier. And what that does, so let's go ahead and alt-click that. What that does, you see it's currently black. Our part is white. So if I go ahead and slice the plate, then everywhere that SVG interacts with this other part, because we used a modifier, it's still flush, right? But it's now black instead of white like the rest of the part. So that's how that works. So pretty easy to do, but one of the fundamental things that we need to know how to do here in our slicer. So if we were to choose join, then of course this is going to sit on top. So you see how that is sitting on top of our part, which obviously we don't want. We're going to either use the cut modifier or the cut or the modifier. Now, this is really how parts should be made, so that when we download the part, if I want this same bracket, but I'm assuming this holds dishes or something like that. I don't really know what this bracket holds, but by doing it this way as a part, then we can just boop, delete that, and then we can reinsert whatever logo we wanted to. We just need an SVG file of our logo, and we can pop it right into place. And that's how that works. Okay, so we would typically I'll just show you another logo just to give you another example, but we select our part, and then we can right click and choose add part. We'll go to SVG, and this is the logo I did for somebody else. So there's their logo. So we are going to make it 1 millimeter thick, and then we are going to use the cut modifier, and then we'll go ahead and scale it down so this will fit. Now we don't want to move it like this. When we want to move it, we do want to be in SVG mode. So we just go to edit SVG. Now we can scale it. Scaling is fine, but not moving, because we have to make sure it's on the face. Okay, so there is that logo, and if we slice the plate, now you can see that logo is now embedded in that face of the part there. Okay, so probably do need to move this. So back to edit SVG and just slide it over to center it a little bit better. But there you go. So whatever depth you want to make it, you can make it. Whatever logo you want to put on there, you can do it. You just need an SVG. So if you want the Nike logo or Chanel or whatever logo you want, you just got to have an SVG for it. And there you go. So that is how you take away a logo permanently, and then how you can add whatever logo you want once that's taken away. So hopefully that will help you out. And until next time, thanks for watching. Now, one thing, just real quick too, we have a Patreon. The link is in the listing description below. And Jenny is not a paid member of our Patreon. She should be, but she's not. But it doesn't matter, is my point. Ask your questions. We like making these videos. We like real world questions, so we have real world answers. So whether you're a paid member of our Patreon or not, we really encourage you to ask your questions over there. Send us an email with whatever files that you're trying to work with, just like Jenny did here, so we can do these video demonstrations that are meaningful not only for you, but also for all of our other individuals watching our videos. So we really appreciate you asking the questions and sending us your files so we can make these videos. All right, so thanks for watching. If you have any questions or need one-on-one training or some custom files made for you, this is my contact information, so feel free to reach out via email. You can text me. You could even give me a call. I'd be happy to answer questions or give you more details on the one-on-one training we offer, and as well as if you need custom files made until you are up to speed on how to make them yourself, feel free to reach out and we'd be happy to help you with that as well.